Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Yes, indeed. Following up from the earlier video, I made mention that, yes, indeed, this is the hub requiring most of my attention. And even though I've been concentrating on the other one that has the 8 struts coming into it, this is the one that I really do concentrate on the most. I have done, as I've shown in the other video, filled in the gap in the space that would be occupied by a bottom, the struts that have been shortened, but has a bottom positioned hub. Rather than putting a top hub in here, which I would be doing, I thought I'd look at this because we'll step through it. Now, just for the exercise, we're pretending that we've got the straps coming along here and attaching to the infill block, we could call it. So we've got a couple in place. Some of them will have to be grooved. For just personal preference, I've lifted this laminated hub up to the highest point here, and all the others would have to have a wee bit of a trench cut into the positions there for the straps to lay flat. Not overly demanding, so that's all well and fine. One thought exercise gets dispelled quite quickly. This, if we just get rid of the straps, oops, not that. If we get rid of the straps for just now, we could be left with a block like this that infills the gap, and therefore you could imagine that any force coming down here would be directed through the block. Ditto here. You could imagine the loads being imposed by whatever snow or wind is going to be directed right through these 3 struts, through the block, and these 2 here, mainly this one, but this one effectively the same, element in the structure, would take the force and then dissipate it, direct it down this strut. You can therefore imagine that whatever an engineer would tell you, I'm making that very prominent in the conversation, but the amount of force, let's just say they're 1 unit each. They're not, but let's just say that there's 1 unit of force coming through these struts. So that's 3 units of force being directed through this leg. Now I see the triangle, 1, 2, 3, hey, the triangle, as an entity absorbing that energy. But largely it's going to be this strut here. This one here is just, yeah, it's different. I know, you could even go to the extent of saying maybe there's 4 units of whatever. Let's just pretend 1 unit of energy each. So there's 4 potential units of energy coming through this one piece of timber. And that is why this one here has the most demand as far as the joint's concerned, and for the energy to stop any deflection. So, yeah, you may want or deem it necessary to have internal gusset or bracing, or whatever you want to call it, stiffening members in this leg. And that is why I kept on saying that I'd more than likely have an extra bit of structure, framing, in the 2 triangles on either side of this triangle. That's so that the energy can come down and have an alternate and extra, bigger path to be directed. But to be fair, it is particularly nice and pleasing to see a geodesic dome with this sort of structure. So I'm working on the fact that I might just have it like this, or someone else might. So we've got to accommodate that sort of logic and thinking. Anyway, I haven't even got to the point of the video yet. That's off in the way. But this block could augment a bottom plate position and a top plate. So you're still having the equivalent of this, where we've got a bottom position hub and a top position hub in this position. That's what I'd be doing. I'm going to be doing that anyway. But if we put this block in, which is, after all, just a few pieces of plywood, laminated and glued, whatever, together, does that help stiffen the whole assembly? The plates, or the hub, as it were, what is, becomes not secondary, but has been helped. The fixings become a little bit less. It's dangerous comment I'm making, but they become not as stressed. Still necessary, but not as stressed because of the energies going through a solid component rather than space. If that weren't there, don't worry about those lines, or let's just delete those. If it weren't there, then all of the force has to be directed through the metal and the bolts or screws. If it is there, or they are there, then it just augments or helps or compensates or expands the stability of the joint. Let's just leave it at that. Now, if I think this looks a little bit ugly, and it probably only looks that because, I've contrasted the colour, what if, and this is just an if, we do away with that and we mitre the timber together? Oh, that sounds a good idea. Oh, I might do that. I'm going to do it here, as is likely, very, very likely, that I mitre these two together, then but this one. Okay, oh, that's a really good idea. Well thought of, Dave. Glad the way you think is the way that you think as well. Amazing. So, I've gone and done it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that so a pain in the ass? Yes, it is. Indeedy. Doable? Oh, yeah. But, wow. The angles and precision to mate all these up starts to become a joinery job. And that's not something I want to do in this hub strut dome exercise. Not in the drawing and not in reality. I'd rather have that gap, and this does look good. I'm going to give you that. And if you've got the patience, good on you. But it is a bit demanding. Would I even consider it as an exercise, if I was out there building the dome? Well, I'm really thinking about it. I'm thinking I might entertain it on a second dome. I wouldn't want to entertain this as my first attempt at making the dome joint. It is probably as demanding as anything on this dome. And why? Yeah, why? It just the aesthetics. Oh yeah, hell, go ahead. Do it like this. It'll look fantastic from under. Oh, it's still got all the lumpiness. That dead right. There is no panacea. Could you lift this up and make it more flush? Yeah, you could. A little bit. Yeah, it's got that tapery triangle thing going on there, and yeah, you could lift it up. You could. There's lots of things you could do, but really, do you want to? I don't. And as I said, this becomes a quiet. If you're a master builder, master joiner, whatever, great. My building capability is, have I done this sort of thing before? No. I've got close to it, sort of, when you pitch a roof and all the common rafters and the hip rafters all come together and there is a geometry. The common rafters generally just got a plumb cut. That's fine. The ridge board coming along, sometimes that could have a bevel cut on it. That's true. But the hip rafters quite often will have a compound set of cuts put on it, depending on the approach that the hip has been created with. So, and how well did that work out, Dave? Well, don't ask. Good, but not great, I've got to say. So, those that have done a lot of that sort of work will know, and there is a skill set required for that to be achieved. And the average builder, I'm going to say today, won't have that. Specialist builders, and I've seen some amazing joints, it's like, dang, how do they get there? And that's great, but that's not me. Sorry, I'd like to pretend I'm that experienced. I'm not. This, however, I think myself and the average DIYer could do. There's some things that I wouldn't recommend a DIYer to do. But this one, hell yeah. Once the pattern has been determined within your drawings, because you're obviously following the videos, and if you're not, shame on you, but you'd be able to create this shape in SketchUp or the equivalent. Print it out, take it out to the workshop, make sure the measurement is correct, amend, scale, shrink, whatever the requirements are, and cut it on your miter saw. No rocket science in this. No complex compound bevels. They're all straight cuts. Straight cuts at an angle, but otherwise all straight cuts. Laminate together, bolt, glue, screw, whatever. Done. You'll wind up with probably as satisfactory a joint as anything else. And it kind of looks quite flaming neat. Don't you reckon? Now, reckon. It's a old Kiwi sort of slang there. Oh, let's just take that. So if that was the look that you wanted, great. There's another benefit of having a timber plate there. You can mount things to it. Maybe a light. Now you're saying, Dave, forgotten about the plate. I'm going, yeah. Mount it to the plate, but then, mount it, I'll take it back. Under battens, hang on. Under battens, with an extra plate put in here, could have something mounted to it. That's not worrying, you're not worrying about the steel. Anyway, I do go on. Which one would I like to see on my dome? Oh, this one. Of course I would. Which one will I see on my dome? Well, this one. Of course it's going to be this one, because of all the things I've just said. This one, this joint here, may well be tapered, but, mitered together. Might be. But, if I'm going to have a top and bottom plate here, well, maybe I just go with consistency. And that also means ease of construction. So, yeah, food for thought. You can do it. I could get the dimensions and angles required for this. It would look particularly smart, but if I did it there, would I want to do it in any other position? And the argument is yes. Oh, and you may not have seen some of the other drawings. Oh, it's not in this model. This joint does go through that exercise and will perhaps be the way I go. The combination of the block, I'm bouncing around a bit now, I quite like that, and it may replace the idea of having these ones here mitered together. I like the idea, but I'm thinking that this maybe a little bit less attractive than mitering them together. And these ones here, this situation is more like that pitching the hipped roof sort of thing. The joints are very, very similar in concept. But for consistency, maybe this is the better way of going. And maybe the comment I made earlier, there's a lot of maybes in this one, maybe the thing is, do this for your first attempt, and there's probably going to be more than one, but make this for your first attempt, and should you gain the confidence and clarity for building it like this, then you may want to consider mitering the joints, etc. So, it's up to you, isn't it? And I'm just trying to cover I'm trying to cover as many bases as I deemed necessary or I want to, and this is one of them. And at the moment, it will be used possibly in combination with the twin or the double layer of the plates here. So, food for thought. Rightio, keeping it reasonably short. Going to wander off and think of something else. Rightio, I'll see you in the next one now. Bye.